means Vanderpump Rules, season 11, episode 15. We're on this.
Ooh.
Woo! We're on the season finale. Although this truly felt like a series finale to me. The way it ended. Like, because they each had a little narration
Mm-hmm.
and they each had like a little vignette
Kind
showing.
of tie up their little loose end.
Yeah.
Their little happy ending.
And what I noticed was Lala did most of the narration, because usually when they're doing those little showing a clip
Mm-hmm.
it if they do any of that, it's Lisa. Lisa has a toast that's overdubbed, or Lisa is narrating a little bit, but this felt more like either passing of the torch or closing of the book.
Well, you know what though? You say that, but so we see that with Tom and Tom. They're gonna have their little. We're gonna move in together and live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
And James and Allie, they're like, well, Allie, like, like they're gonna promise to think about getting married to each other, and it's like it's the kiss of death for those four. You know who didn't have one of those scenes? Was Lala and Brock and Sheena.
Katie.
Katie didn't either, but I mean, I don't. I'll be interested to see
She
what
has a
happens.
pretty successful podcast.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as just like, I don't know, does she fit in the valley?
I mean, just as much as anyone else who lives in the valley. See, so far, I don't know if there's going to be another season, because so far it's been all married couples. And now two of those married couples are getting a divorce. Lala, I heard, may have gotten a contract for the valley, but she's a parent. But she's single.
I don't think that Katie is a very interesting person. And I don't mean that in a bad way, like,
right.
But it would be like following us around with a camera. You know what I mean?
That's like one of the highest compliments you can pay a person, I think, is you're too normal for reality TV.
Like, you can't, if you're gonna sit there and roll your eyes at your new lesbian girlfriend and kind of fucking spoil the moment, like, come on, like,
Well, yeah, and
because especially with Katie, it's just like so much. Like she had a few moments where, she kind of let Schwartz charm her a little bit, right? And that was kind of cool. But for the most part, she was just kind of like, fuck everybody.
I wonder, I should Google when her birthday is, because if she's
fuck all of this.
Sometimes she gives off a Gemini energy, and I mean that in the way that
okay, you're going off into freaking,
well, no, because they're the twins,
astronomical psychology,
and I don't even know if I'm right on this, but it's because they're the twins that I feel like she could be Gemini energy, because in one scene, I'll be totally riding for Katie. She's on the right side of history. And in the next scene, she's making Joe cry for shacking up with her ex-husband. Which, yeah, I'm sure Katie did have hurt feelings about him moving on that fast. But she shouldn't take it out on Joe, who was just trying to apologize. But anyway, we'll get there. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But I can't believe it was the season finale. It feels like we were just getting everything prepped for the, what do you call it, the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking up music, and we should have maybe thought about that a little longer. Next season.
Well, now we know.
But I've had a lot of fun on our recording days. I'm going to miss talking about these guys, but we have some reunions to go.
We got some reunions, and
Oh, I
I'm going to
want
be
to
done with
do.
school, and summertime is starting, and we're going to start our summer book club, which.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But I'd like to do top of house cleaning or top of show house cleaning, which means instead of waiting till the end, I want to say right now, please like
Like
and
and
subscribe
subscribe.
and tell one or two friends and just tell them to like and subscribe and tell one or two friends. We'd really like to grow our audience. I think it takes like 500 subscribers on YouTube and we can get ads or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, we would oh gosh, I would freak out. I would freak out if we got to oh, I don't know, 25 would be my first freak out. And then like what? 100?
100 would be nice. You know.
How many years is that going to take?
Oh, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Shit.
Only the good Lord above knows.
Are you ready to dive on in?
Yeah,
Let's take the plunge. It's called.
let's stick a
We're not
fork in
sticking a
this.
fork in this. We got reunions,
Well, we got
baby.
reunions, but okay.
Okay, and now I know why it's called plot twist, but we'll get there. The episode was called plot twist. In case you didn't know that, it says Ariana takes Dan to lunch with her friends, and Tom approaches Ariana for a conversation. Okay, so San Francisco, let's go. Everybody, not everybody, but they show the B-roll of San Francisco.
Doing the trolley ride and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then they're showing everybody in like different couples or whatever. They're in different pairs. They're kind of talking shit about Dan.
Yeah.
Like Lala says, what if I asked Ariana, what if Sandoval tries to shake Dan's hand? And she said, well, he's been in a lot of fights, so he could kick his ass if he were. Something to that effect. And she goes, sounds like a fucking square to me. And I'm like, what about Dan being a street fighter says that he's square? Please, come on. Or is it the fact that he's just not going to engage with senseless fighting? No, she was going on about how Ariana said that he used to fight in New York.
Yeah. Just like.
And then she's like, he sounds like a fucking square to me. And I'm like, because he's a street fighter?
No, I think because he won't shake Sandoval's hand.
Right? I know, but that makes him a mature adult. Something she's also trying to be this season.
See, and part of it too, I think, might have to do with the fact that they want Ariana and Sandoval to be like Schwartz and Katie. Guys, just do this, and then we can all get along well enough to.
Yeah, well, we're almost 2 years in the rearview mirror with Schwartz and Katie. Let's give Ariana 2 years and see.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I think there's reasons behind it, but we'll get to those.
Yes, please. What else? Oh yeah, Sheena and Brock talk about Sandoval, and she talks about Tom again. How he's a good friend to her. You know what I mean?
That's all she's got to talk about.
And then Brock thinks that Tom is a better friend to Ariana. And like Ariana always backs out of stuff. And And Sheena agrees. She says, yeah, Ariana's always going to be that friend who backs out
Mm-hmm.
of stuff but still wants to be invited. And I'm like, guilty. That's
Yeah.
me. I want to be thought of and invited to your function, but oh God, do I have to leave my house?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's part of the thing too, though, right? At some point, it's kind of like, but yeah, like,
Is it so hard to invite someone?
but I mean, if at every turn you're kind of rejected, right? At what point do you say like, does this person like
Yeah, but
literally like
I would
want to
like,
just be invited? Like,
well, I would like some examples though,
yeah.
because she went to San Francisco.
Hmm. Well, but that's the thing for Kyle Chan.
And Sheena's performance.
Well, do you think that if Sheena hadn't performed, that Ariana wouldn't have gone to Kyle Chan's function?
I doubt she would have, because it was just a whiskey tasting and she would have thought, oh, Tom's definitely going to be there. This is more of a guy's thing. And I think Kyle, I don't know. I have no clue because I didn't know that Ariana was Kyle's. I thought that Kyle and Tom Sandoval were friends. I didn't know that he was friends with the whole gang.
Mm-hmm.
So I really can't answer that in like full honesty. I don't know how close they were, but my gut is saying probably not. Not in not unless Sheena and Lala and their other girls were gonna be there. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't. Gonna
Do,
say from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I was just sort of under the impression that through all of Ariana's kind of, the way that she's, kind of set up her boundaries as far as her friends and, Tom Sandoval, that Kyle Chan has been sort of mysteriously, sort of not a part of that. Like that's the one mutual friend that they get to keep.
yeah, I think that was even brought up
So I mean,
earlier this season. It's
is he a solid friend or is that
well, see,
opportunistic?
I I don't know that he's the kind of friend that would be in Ariana's every single day radar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, see, Ariana, I don't know the girl, but she seems like somebody who would have more of a close circle of friends,
Mm-hmm.
unlike Sheena, who everyone is her best friend. And so, she probably, if she went, it was either to support Sheena, who she does feel is one of her best friends, or she and Kyle are a lot closer than I ever knew. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're asking. Well, I don't know if anybody knows because Kyle Chan didn't do a lot of filming. He was, you know how I said if I were on reality television, I'd want to be a friend of?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what Kyle Chan has been through the years. You might spot him in the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
or he might be having dinner at Sir, but you don't know anything about his life. Who he's dating, who he's fighting
Mm-hmm.
with, blah, blah, blah. But maybe we will. I kind of like it when, I mean, going back to last episode when he does speak,
Mm-hmm.
or when they give him enough time to. I I do like what he has to say. I mean, he has some questionable ethics with the whole Thailand trip, but
Well,
look
I
at
mean,
Tom and Tom. They were there too. And I'm not saying it's okay. But when he does talk about,
oh, there's a whole freaking industry over there of people doing that shit. They're not the only
I
ones.
know, but they have a platform. They could have been saying, let's go somewhere else. But anyway, trolley time. And Dan was even there. And
Mm-hmm.
they go to Chinatown, and all I think is yum because they're talking about fried
Mm-hmm.
wontons. But then when they get inside that restaurant, they the they all ordered Chinese beer. And I was confused, like, what is Chinese beer?
Well, I mean, I was wondering the same thing. I guess I've never tried it.
Would it have a different flavor?
I can't imagine. Like, as far as,
Mexican beer does. Corona,
well,
it's
Corona,
like bitter.
yeah, but it's not. Corona's got a distinct flavor.
Is that not considered beer? Is it, or is
No,
it a
it's,
thing of its own?
yeah, no, it's considered beer. But I mean, like, in Korea, Korean beer,
I
we
hate
drink
Corona.
Height. Huh?
I hate Corona. I like Dos
Yeah,
Equis.
yeah. Well, I like Corona. But anyways,
Most people do.
um, Korean beer, we used to drink. They had Height or Cass, and they tasted like your basic Coors Light, Coors Miller Light. Same like American lager. You know,
And
mass.
you're kind of like, you are not a label snob, or you're not stuck up in any other area of your life, but when it comes to beer, you are, it has to be a craft lager, or I'm not no, not maybe not that, but
I
like,
wouldn't drink. I don't like
well,
lager.
whatever. But you're very, very fussy about your beer. I can't even
No, whoa, whoa,
imagine
whoa,
you.
whoa, whoa. Yeah, can I speak
Yes.
before you just go running off the handle with this? Because you're in way over your head right now. Because I drink so much height and fucking Cass. And when I was in the army, I drank enough piss beer out of bars. I can say that I'm a connoisseur of every kind of beer, and that's
uh,
I
see,
I've earned my right to say that shit tastes like piss,
well,
and this stuff does not.
you know what? I just don't like the taste of beer. And so the more watered down, easier to get down and get a buzz, the better. I mean, that was back in my let's get wasted days. But now I don't, I can't, I couldn't be a connoisseur of beers because I don't like the beer flavor.
Well, but that's the
But you
thing.
do enjoy that?
Well, that's the thing. Now I don't. Now I alcohol has never been my drug of choice, right? Like I
Right.
would rather just smoke a bowl. That's been my. I've been like that since I was 15.
Yeah, but a vodka cranberry on a Friday night is nice. In your 20s, I used to like to have a few vodka cranberries.
Well, I
And
mean, I know I did drink a lot, right? But um, usually when I was drinking a lot is
little
when I
Grey
could.
Goose and soda. Mm, with a
Well,
twist of lemon.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like
Yum.
with a good beer,
Okay.
nice dark porter or a stout or a nice, Hefeweizen,
Okay.
or something with actual flavor and a distinct flavor that's actually somebody's taken the time to like make this. And you drink two of those and you smoke a couple bowls, and that's a nice night.
Okay, now you're making a little. Now that we're talking it out, it's making more sense. Because, yeah, there's a difference between a vodka cranberry and, say, like a Grey Goose cranberry or Tito's and like a top shelf vodka and
Mm,
cranberry, and just a vodka and cranberry. Because, yeah, a
I think you.
good vodka with a splash of cranberry on a Friday night is a good, and a couple bowls is a good night. But I used to go down to the Rainbow and let them fill up a glass with Lewis and Clark, just like a cap full of either orange juice for a screwdriver or a cap full
This
of cranberry
Lewis
for
and Clark probably have a gallon
plastic.
plastic jug just.
And I'm not making this up. Cause, oh God.
Oh, I have bad memories of Lewis and Clark and root beer one night.
What? Ooh, why did you mix?
Because we just mixed it with whatever we could find, right? Like you just needed something to just so it wasn't straight fucking vodka.
Down?
And
yeah, but then you get a good vodka and you can drink straight vodka if it's cold.
One night when I was in the Army, I was out on this detail, and we were part of this group. There was this competition for medics. They earn their combat medic badge. They have to do all these things, like basically like they're going through all these they go through all these trials of like they have to like basically get wounded people out of a combat zone, right? So there all these different ways of doing it. They're timed and they got to do it right. And no, I was just there to play one of the dead guys.
Oh, I thought you trained to be a medic. I thought you said.
No, this was a competition for medics.
I know, but when you were in the Army, did you train?
No, not as a medic. Like I was on a tank. I was what was called a
could carry
a combat lifesaver. So I was able
morphine.
So yeah, basically, right? Like, I wasn't a medic, but I had a little bit more training than basic first aid. Like I could give an IV, I can do some, sort of some of those things. Like
I think if I were in the military, I'm finding out who has the morphine, because I'm marching next to you. If I get hit with even the tiniest piece of shrapnel, hook me up. If I see something traumatic, overdose the shit out of me, because I don't want to go home and relive that every day and night for the rest of my life.
Well, that's all good and well, but I don't know if I want to be the guy that, gets thrown under the bus because you died of an overdose and not because of a combat wound you rightfully should have.
But what if, like, I step on a landmine and I'm gonna be missing 3 of my 4 limbs? They'll be able to save me.
Oh, yeah.
But you would have been able to have mercy on me.
Well, no, that's why, like, all the wars we have now, like, we think about, like 60,000 soldiers died in Vietnam, right? Like,
but how many were hurt?
Well, but that's the thing. So we look at, like, the Iraq War in Afghanistan, and we've had about, like, 6,000 people die, right? But
that sounds low. Since the first Iraq War?
Well, compared to Vietnam, especially.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point, is because medicine and combat zones and triage and all these other things have gotten so much better that people are now surviving traumatic injuries that they never would have survived in, like, Vietnam era.
Right.
So yeah, there's less people dying, but we're sending back way more wounded.
Mm-hmm.
So
permanently wounded too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Man, how do we get talking about that? The squares? No.
I don't know. We're talking about the Army. I don't even know.
Oh, Chinese beer, and you were talking about drinking.
I don't know if I ever made a point.
Beer in Korea. Sorry, because I interrupted you. I'm just excited about this episode. I don't know why, but sorry. The beer. You drank enough of the shit beer.
Yeah, and I like
or the
good
piss
beer
to.
Yeah, so basically, don't harsh my mellow, man.
And then we find out that Schwartz has a threesome on his bucket list. But during lunch, Lala was rapid fire questioning Dan. It was like,
Oh yeah, the interrogation.
oh my God. If I were Ariana, I'd be like, pump the brakes.
You know, and it was weird.
You just saw my boyfriend naked. Now, pump the brakes.
Yeah, and then in her confessional too, it just kind of drove me nuts.
Which one?
Lala's.
What'd she say? Oh, you're not going to be bringing anyone.
Yeah, and it was just like when she was like, he handled this like a champ and whatever, and it was like, but because when I took rewatching it, watching it from a completely knowing how things were going to go down.
Oh.
Right, and it was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if I was Dan, I would have been really uncomfortable in that situation. Like, I think he must be a pretty chill dude.
He totally is.
Yeah.
But I'm almost like I've been wrong a lot, so I'm just telling you the way it's coming across.
Mm-hmm.
Just the few seconds that we see of Dan cumulatively, he presents himself as a very laid back person, and I was thinking maybe he was playing it up for either the friends or the cameras or both. And now I'm thinking maybe it is just him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just like that. And then he'll be like, if there's something to get worked up about. It's sort of what he's meaning when he said he hasn't done anything to me, but I know what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to keep that in the back of my head and just give me a reason.
And and when he says,
it's almost like just give me a reason.
When he says, I know what he's done, he knows more than you and I know.
Oh, I bet.
He knows the dirty dirt.
The Arianas
Yeah,
for 9 years.
Yeah.
Probably more than everyone at that table besides T Money. Because, Schwartz knows everything. I'm sure of it. If there's a body buried, Schwartz helped him do it. Those two, I swear. They will be like, they're the new Lucy and Ethel. Or, how they always have Thelma and Louise. Mm-hmm. Or, I don't know. But I think once we get into our 60s, if reality TV is still a thing, mm-hmm. and they're still like best friending it, I would totally watch a Tom and Tom old man. Wasn't there like the Honeymooners or something? Who were the two men in that? Jackie Gleason? Yeah. That it's old. I mean, that's back from.
No, but wasn't. What was that one though? It was like.
It was the two men.
There's Perfect Strangers, but then.
Oh yeah, but they were cousins.
Yeah, but then.
Is that Balky?
Yeah, Balky and.
Well, you got Bert and Ernie, the original.
Yeah.
Tom and Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't watch it, but then again,
Maybe when you're 60, you will.
Oh God, I can't. No, God. I'm about to write a freaking doctorate level thesis on just the absurdity of Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, you're welcome. But Allie asked what it was about Ariana that drew him to her. And basically it was her empathy for those kids that were experiencing racism. Mm-hmm. They must have been doing a project working with kids because he didn't specify,
Yeah.
but he said there were a bunch of kids. I'll have to go back and find out what kind of thing they. But where did he say he grew up in London? Where he received a lot of racism?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even catch that because probably was that part of the rapid fire.
No, that they kind of settled it. And then Allie, she said, "So Dan, what what attracted you or drew you in
Mm.
about?" And then
Yeah.
Ariana was like, "Oh, that was so sweet," but it was her empathy in that she stood up for.
She was an anti-racist.
Yeah, but I couldn't because he said where he was raised, he experienced a lot, and I thought he said in London, but I could be so wrong. That's why I was.
No, it could have been.
But
yeah, I think. Well, I think that Asian men, especially, have struggled to try to break a lot of stereotypes.
Oh, I
you know
bet.
what I mean? Like, especially here in the United States.
Such emotional.
Yeah. And even, getting, you know, like you always see.
Like the job, too, I
Yeah,
suppose.
you see a lot of different, like, interracial, relationships, but you don't see a lot of white women.
Marriages.
Yeah, hooking up with Asians. But
I guess I have through your eyes,
mm-hmm.
but because a lot of your friends married Koreans
Mm-hmm.
or,
But yeah, but that's the thing. When you're over there, all those stereotypes disappear, right? Because you're just immersed in the complexity of all these people.
Till they take you home to meet the parents.
Well, yeah.
And then the more traditional ones, it probably gets more complex, which you can speak to. But I think, oh my God, that it's giving me a panic attack just thinking about it. I would rather have a job interview and I do great with parents, but I would not. Oh my gosh, I'd be so nervous because I would know that they already dislike me based on my race.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want their oldest son, especially if it's the oldest son. That's why I'd want the youngest son. And so then after that, they ask Ariana what drew her to Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan got really excited because I never heard this. And she kind of gives a weird throwaway answer. Pretty much, she's like, other than having the best smile that I've ever seen and being hot, he's really good at contributing to conversation.
Or he's a good listener. That's what I wrote down. He has a personality.
Well, no, basically she said there was a group of girls and they were having a conversation and he was listening thoughtfully and would every now and then contribute to the conversation, not butt in and, be a man's. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but I guess, but on the spot, what do you say?
Well, no, but because I think what she was kind of talking about too was
because probably he was hot.
Well, but with the long distance thing too, right? They'd spend a lot of time talking on the phone, with her ranting about Sandoval.
Yeah, but that's not like first impression. What drew you to want to keep talking long distance?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's sort of what I thought too, because I'm still not sure if Dan's real or not, right? I felt like he came off a little bit more genuine, like a little bit,
Yeah, and I mean, nobody's gonna be great just thrown in. Like, for example, if you were on a reality show and you said, I really need you to film at least a few scenes, otherwise it's my ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, if I liked you, I would say, okay. But I'd probably be like Dan, as closed mouthed as possible. I'd be answering questions and being
Yeah.
friendly because that's my
Just like I'm not,
personality.
I'm not, I'm not getting involved.
Yeah, basically. Like if he comes to shake my hand, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm 40 years old. I'm
Mm.
gonna shake his hand and be like, yeah, I'm not a child.
I think it must be weird to walk into that environment and have all these people just like, what are you gonna do, man? Like it
I
would feel like
know.
being in high school again.
Yeah, it would.
You know, it's just totally like,
Especially like if Dan is anything like you or I, and we haven't, I've never walked into, in my adult life,
mm-hmm.
an interrogation like
Yeah,
that. I've never walked into a situation where the person that I started dating got out of anything closely related to that
yeah.
scandal or had a friend group like that. It's just,
But the whole thing is just very much like junior high-ish, sort of like everybody run around is kind of being like, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So and so said this much. When, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, like,
I know.
hey, I heard that. Hey Dan, I heard Sandoval said that he could take you. You know,
He probably did say
Sandoval.
that.
Hey Sandoval, I heard Dan said he could take you. You know, getting everybody all riled up. Before you know it, they're gonna meet outside at 3 o'clock. It's just like, guys, calm down.
And um
But I do want to go to Chinatown someday, though.
oh, I know. I was thinking that the whole time. I want to go to San Francisco.
Like I said, like Chinatown and New Orleans, just to me, kind of have like that whole sort of like, yeah, that whole different culture thing going on. But
And,
like with a lot of history behind it too, right? Not
mm-hmm,
like, I don't know.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go there too. And just, I think you can just park and walk all day and just
Mm-hmm.
have a good day. But what else happens? Oh yeah, was it Sheena? She tells Ariana about her conversation
Oh. Oh.
with Sandoval
And
about his mental health, and she's like, and now I think he really gets it. And
it's,
I'm just like, and then Katie isn't having any of it.
well, no, and it's just, it's getting so repetitive and so
And did you notice that
why are you still beating this dead horse?
when she gets mad, when Ariana gets mad, she she can't like yell at Tom Sandoval because he isn't there, and also she isn't really speaking to him. So immediately she starts yelling at Schwartz.
Yeah, Schwartz is sort of the whipping boy, right? Like,
He's like, all right.
I hate you again.
Yeah, and then Katie gets pissed at Brock, but why?
Well, because Brock is, you know, Brock's defending,
Oh,
you know, Sheena. He's like, they're just like, Brock, why are you defending Sandoval? And he's like, I'm sticking up for Sheena because she's going through this thing, which means I'm going through this thing. And,
I need her to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So forgive her, please, or whatever.
But at the same time, Brock, you can see it on Brock's face, though. He knows that Sheena is just being retarded about this whole thing.
Yeah, she truly, because she's the one making herself miserable. You know,
Mm,
I mean, if you're gonna co sign Tom's bullshit, that's it. You can't. Well, no, here's the thing. I think with Ariana, and she's to the point where she could be friends with Sheena
mm-hmm.
if Sheena's friends with Tom, as long as you stop talking about him and your friendship and how special
Well,
he is, because he's not to her.
yeah,
He isn't any of that to her, and he never will be again.
yeah.
And the more you talk about it, the
Well,
more upsetting it is.
well, then when you think, I
And the
mean,
more treasony, or what, the more.
yeah, I mean, yeah, at some point, just kind of like what's behind her, one, her need to justify her friendship with Tom to Ariana.
Oh, I have that written down later, but I could tell you right now,
Okay.
because I mean, it's.
I had a deep thought and it slipped
Oh,
away. So
sorry.
you no, that's what I mean. I maybe you can jog my memory. What do you think?
No, I think because later on, probably 3 or 4 times more, and I don't even know where I have it in my notes, but um, I'm like, I wrote, Sheena talks about what a good friend Tom is to her again. We hear you, Sheena. We hear you. At this point, I don't think it's for Ariana at all, because Ariana has been fine with a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
who have been fine with Sandoval, Sheena included, right? Am I wrong?
Right.
So, what I think is she's placating to us, the audience. She doesn't want to get drugged through Reddit or Instagram. She doesn't want the audience not to like her. She needs us to understand
Mm-hmm.
why she's taking Sandoval back, because he's so special. He let me be in a picture 12 years ago. And it's like, we got to get over that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to move on. So he was great 12 years ago. What about that season you were texting Ariana's mom, dragging him through the mud? Unasked.
Yeah. How?
But that's what I think. I don't think it's for Ariana.
Delusional.
I think it's for us when Sheena
Yeah.
keeps.
Well, and that makes sense, right? Because
Because
her
a
and
lot of it's
Sandoval are
in
the
the
same person.
confessionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Remember, I was talking about that the other day. Like those two, it's like looking in a gender bender mirror, because he's the male version of her, and she's
Mm-hmm.
the female.
Oh yeah. They're the they got sort of the same goals, the same aspirations, right? To be famous for being famous. Well, Sheena actually thinks that she's cut out for a music career, maybe.
I don't know, but are you done with that scene?
Yep.
Okay, because then we move on to Joe and T Money.
I almost threw up, dude. I got so freaking nauseous.
No, but the thing is, can I just make my one point and then I'm going to let you go off, because
Mhm.
otherwise I could. My one thing before I got really sick, and it was one of the things that made me sick, is why won't he wake up? He is so happy with her. But you know what? I think he is embarrassed by her. I think he's embarrassed to be seen in public with her. He's embarrassed by her or something, because they were having such a good time. He ironed for this girl.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
they make jokes. They crack wise, like they have
Oh,
inside stuff.
oh
And
no.
he's never that. Have you seen him that happy filming with anyone else? But whenever it's he and Joe, just the two of them, they're their own Harry and Sally. But now talk about what's so sick.
It's the fact that,
Bleeding.
yeah, it's just that he knows this. You know what I mean? And he knows that he is basically, but at the same time, because she doesn't really fit into a reality TV sort of lifestyle, right?
Or the girls don't approve of her or whatever. He never cared what
Well,
Katie thought in the past.
You know,
It's like,
and that's sort of the thing. And that's sort of the thing too, right? Like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. Is that pretty much, that's pretty much it, right?
yeah.
Like he wants to, have Joe there and be able to screw around and, flirt around with Katie once in a while. And yeah, Schwartz to me has come off even worse this season than Sandoval has. Well, up until this.
Well,
this
in certain ways, definitely.
with what he's done with Joe, like I think Joe is a little socially awkward.
Right.
I don't know if she knows how to read a room. I don't think she understands why Katie is upset. Like,
right.
Like she even, and we'll get to that point too, but, she even said to Katie, like, I wasn't thinking about you. I was thinking about me.
I know.
And like that was the normalest thing in the world. Right? So,
and it's the truth for most people.
well, yeah,
you
say that she said the quiet part out loud, right? It's just like,
no, I know. When I heard her say it, I was like, no, pack it up.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, I mean, you really had a lot of sympathy for Joe up until that point where it was just kind of like, you know what, just walk away, dude. Just walk away. Like, don't.
But in this scene especially, we see how awful Tom is.
Oh, yeah.
And, anyone who hadn't seen this before and thought that Joe was delusional or whatever, I hope that they can see that they were wrong, because Tom is making her feel like they have a shot, like they're a match. I don't know, because when I see them filming together, I want them together.
Oh, I think that if Schwartz actually wants to have a
normal
happy life, he should go with Joe and
not with Sandoval.
Yeah. But he wants the batshit crazy and the borderline creepy perverted. Anyways, yeah.
And then next I have Brock has rose petals set up for Sheena, and Sheena and Lisa talk, but I don't know about what. I just left it at that.
No, because Sheena's talking about something about I just put Brock put flowers on the bed. I know that she asked him if she's like, do you still love Sandoval? And she's like, yeah, I still love him. She's like, oh, well, there's your answer. So, she's like,
oh, Lisa said that. Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I mean, and that's sort of.
But what was the question? Like,
well, Ariana and Tom and what should I do?
Stop throwing Ariana under the bus and make a 40-year-old woman decision. Yeah. There, let's start with that. How about?
Yeah, it's just not.
And this is coming from a wishy-washy woman.
Like, I almost have to wonder what kind of conversations
she has in her head.
or that her and Sandoval are having, on the sly.
Right.
Because it's just like she more than anything is trying to push this idea about look how he was shitty to Ariana, but look how great he was to me.
I wonder what
I
would
think
have.
she is. Maybe she is in love with Sandoval.
That's what I've been saying. But because I wonder roles reversed if, say, Ariana had an affair with Schwartz and Sandoval was getting the Ariana treatment, and he said, anyone who talks to Ariana is dead to me, or, can't be in my. Would Sheena be this heartbroken about not being in Ariana's life? Would she be?
Oh no, not at all.
I don't know. I don't know. Or does she just want both of? Because she can't have both of them. She can. Just don't talk about Tom to Ariana. I think it's that simple. To be quite honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tom fills other Tom in on Dan, and Sandoval's like, well, she does have great taste in men, because Schwartz is like, he's a great guy. But
it's like, no, dude. I mean, don't. Anyways.
Yeah, what do they talk about? Because I only remember the
ending. That was the thing. It was just like, but she doesn't have. You're not a prize.
I know,
fucking bastard. Like,
but he said,
but Tom's never gonna stop loving Tom. So.
Well, and he said that, and I think this was for the cameras, but he says that he'll always be there for Ariana, and he goes, weeks, months, years, decades, if she ever needs me, I'll always be there for her. She can call me for fucking, or she can call me any fucking time. And then Schwartz goes, probably decades though. And then he laughs and Tom glares at him. But that gave me such a chuckle.
It's like, dude, if you guys, and especially like if they're not talking off camera, why in the fuck would you even think that you could talk on camera?
Because that's their job. And that's Tom's reality. Like, yeah, that's...
It's just like, I wrecked your life.
Yep.
But I can say that again. All you have to do is come talk to me on camera.
No, I am convinced that if Rachel had come back, she and Tom would be a power couple. If not already, by next season.
Well,
I don't know,
but she didn't, and
he got everyone. Yeah, it's. Oh, my Tony just brought me a picture. Sorry, you guys. It's so good. I love this. Love it. He knows what Mom likes. He's our artist. Okay, so anyway, we got
red carpet. Oh no, we get
Lala.
She and Sandoval talking to the sound guy. Tom is such a great guy, just coming through.
Oh yeah, they're getting ready for the launch party.
Yeah, and then she was clapping back at the haters in her confessional, talking about that's me, making it about me.
That was hilarious. So she's obviously self-aware enough to know that, or maybe it's just everything she's reading. Yeah. Why can't she stop herself?
I think a part of what is making this so difficult too is because...
Oh, this is where I had that, huh?
Is that, that broken fourth wall, right? Like, I just feel
they never break the fourth wall. That's why I felt like this could be
this whole season. But I mean, of course, this whole season was built off of, they broke the fourth wall when they added they picked up those cameras and added those episodes on rather than maybe just dealing with it into the next season, right? But they saw the buzz and everything going on online. They was basically they responded to it. They interacted with the online buzz, and after that, it's become this.
Oh my god! You know what would be amazing is to play last year's finale and go right into this year's finale. Because they are a complete 180 from last year. Last year, everyone,
world.
Yes, everyone's like, fuck Tom. We're never speaking to that piece of shit again. He doesn't deserve life. And then this season, screw Ariana. She doesn't deserve a spot on this show. She's not working for it. Tom, you're back in. We love you. Love you, man. Ah. But anyway, yeah, this is where I had it written down because Sheena tells us what a good friend he is to her. Yeah, we get it. I'm starting to think she's more worried about how we, the audience, feel about her than Ariana. And then she says, but then again, it's just me thinking about me again. Oh, I hate that one.
Well, she's feeling good as gold.
But okay, so everybody's starting to filter in.
Getting to the red
carpet. They are all looking great, especially Brock, who has like this gold leaf Fred Flintstone-esque suit. I don't know why, but it reminded me of Fred Flintstone, and maybe that's just him. But it was definitely a standout.
Yeah, it was quite shiny.
Yeah, and then we have the quick Allie and DJ James Kennedy outside.
So
and
weird.
Allie, I know you hate this, but I gotta touch on it because I do think it is important.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, Allie says that she misses Hippie, and I think that this is just a really good opportunity for us to see that they have a great relationship and how much James does love and care for her, because he goes on to say, Allie, I'm sorry. I know I told you that Hippie was my top priority, but you truly are. And she takes the time to not only say, hey, I miss Hippie, which probably meant a lot to James. Like,
oh yeah.
And but she also says, I know I said that I'm not ready for marriage, but when I am, it's with you. Like, she's reassuring him that she wants to spend the rest of her life with him, whatever that looks like.
Yes.
And so I think that
she gave him a promise ring.
Well, a hope, and so the dog was just a catalyst to get there, because we all know how much James loves the dog, and he's saying that Allie is above the dog. That's where I was going with that. That's
One
why
day
I found
I will be ranked above Axel, and when I am,
he will be 6 feet underground. No, I'm just kidding. We wouldn't even have Axel if you didn't buy his food.
No, that's just true. No, he would find a way, dude. That fucking dog.
Yeah, he would.
All right.
Okay, what else? Oh, yeah. And so when she says that about marriage, he looks so happy. And I feel so happy, but is it me, or did this episode lack DJ James Kennedy? I mean, he wasn't in very many confessionals, and that's where he shines for me.
I think they don't want his input just yet. I think we'll get a lot
Oh,
of.
he's great at the
I think
reunions.
I think they're saving him for the reunions. Right?
And I don't think he rehearses this stuff. I think he's that quick-witted. Some of it might be things that he's already thought of,
Mm,
but I don't know.
yes.
He's just that quick, and he
Well,
makes
and he
it.
sees pretty clearly, right? Like he kind of understands like when people are going freaking crazy.
You should. Oh, you did meet his mom. You should have met his mom before
Mm.
she went to rehab. Yeah. But anyway, we go back inside, and Joe meets up with Schwartz, and he pretty much drags her into the lion's den. He
I,
shoves her next to Lala, who's sitting right next to Katie, and says, "Is there something you would like to say?"
it was
What a fucking asshole.
yeah, like he
She
basically
didn't want to go over there in the first place,
and then
and he's reassuring her.
and then he forces her into this confrontation. Like
And that's where, when you say that you're not sure if she knows how to act in public, okay, that one example you gave was pretty. Oh, yeah, that does. She may not have filter, but also, I don't know what Schwartz is telling her.
yeah,
He's probably telling her, "No, Katie's fine. You just gotta go apologize." She's a softie inside. It's just her cold exterior. I can hear Schwartz lubing Joe up, and it wouldn't take much because he knows that she loves him. And this is gonna make for good TV. I was so mad.
oh yeah.
So
Well,
mad.
that's what I mean. I mean, this is where, to me, in some ways, seeing this, Schwartz's relationship with Joe is all the little bit of kind of kooky little, kind of dope de dope, you know.
I'm just Schwartz.
Oh yeah, it's just all that shit. Just you can see right through it, and it's just so
All it
evil.
took for me was Joe, and now I feel like a fool because I was given 12 years of the way he treated Katie. But watching the way that Katie treats Joe, it really, like, do you blame me for not feeling bad for that woman? I mean, she made it hard to
Right.
to feel empathy toward her because she was handling herself just fine. Yeah, because he forces her over there, and then she looks right at Katie and says, "Sorry if I hurt you."
Sorry if.
Sorry. Oh, you catch how she says that too.
Mm,
Sorry if,
mm,
not if. And she's like, she gets in her face like an evil stepmother to a child who has just broken curfew and got caught with her pants down in the back seat with her boyfriend. Like, give me a break. Calm down.
yeah.
I have never yelled at or been yelled at like that in my adult life by another female. Never.
Yeah.
My jaw. And that's where I'm talking about the Gemini energy. Because usually Katie and I can totally be on Katie's side. And yeah, you've been there where she's been the voice of reason for you as well, or at least for the cast. And then she goes and behaves like this to a person like Joe,
Mm-hmm.
who eventually gets up and walks out crying. And guess what? I was right last week. Schwartz left her on that island to cry by herself.
Mm-hmm.
What an ass. He did
No,
it to Katie for years.
no, Schwartz is a piece of shit. Like I said, he's actually, I think, because with at least with Sandoval, you know, what you see is what you get. Like I think that even I think he actually has doubled down on his narcissism, right? Like this is who I am.
Well,
Where
even
Schwartz
throughout
is
this
so
season, we've watched him try to coach Sandoval on what, so we know that he's self-aware.
yeah.
And so who knows how diabolical this guy is.
And like
I never once thought that. All you had to do was bring a little lamb like Joe into this lion's den,
mm-hmm.
and I'm seeing everybody's true colors. And I'm even a little upset with Ariana because she's always supposed to be the person on the right side of history. I haven't heard her stick up for Joe once, but that's because she thinks that she held Rachel and Tom's secret.
Mm-hmm.
BFD. They weren't friends, Ariana and Joe.
Yeah. But it's also, I think, like sorry, lost my train of thought there for a second.
That's okay.
But no,
I think
that Joe is definitely in over her head. You know what I mean? I feel like this is somebody who, in Hollywood chewed up and spat out. You know what I mean? Like
who's that, Joe?
Joe. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. She's a hairstylist, but maybe at one time.
Well, no, but I'm talking about Vanderpump Rules did for her 15 minutes of, fame was getting shit on.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's the thing. I think if producers were being honest with her, they accomplished what they told her they wanted to accomplish. But I thought that they were like pissing on her and telling her it's raining, because on Rachel's podcast she said the producers were great to me. They said, why don't you come on and let viewers see your side for themselves? And I'm like, oh God, they are wolves in sheep's clothing. Oh, yeah. Joe. But for this viewer, bringing Joe on showed me who Schwartz was.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't think anyone ever could. Maybe. But it would have to be somebody like Joe.
Yeah.
That he was loving and leading on.
Mm-hmm.
It's sick.
All right. Well, anyways, we get from that. Yeah.
But anyway, but there was a little bit of amusement because while like they cut to Dan and Ariana, and Dan's like and then while all this is going on, they cut to Ariana and Dan, who are watching, and Dan looks a little confused, and Ariana tells Dan, Schwartz keeps bringing Joe around Katie, and it's like, why? And Dan goes, I don't know what's going on here. Then Ariana said, it's a long story. And Dan's just like, oh, okay. I laugh because he couldn't seem less interested after she's like, he's like you. He just basically wants to know, do I need to know what's going on?
Yeah, is this gonna be on the test later or what?
And that's when it occurs to me that, yeah, maybe he really is this chill, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then we go back, and she's still yelling in Joe's face not to stay 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even a month with Schwartz. Stay with someone else, anyone else. And Joe's like, no, in a shaky voice, trying to stand her ground. And
I love him.
I know. And then that's pretty much when,
Let him go.
yeah. But I wish she would have tried standing her ground a little bit more. But man, Katie is scary. And because like she's like, Joe, you're a fucking liar. And I'm just like, God, grow up. Ah. And yeah, just as I
But like I
predicted,
said, they need to
Schwartz lets her go.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Schwartz and Katie need to work their shit out because, I think there's so much unresolved. I don't think that they can be friends.
Well, no, not if she's still making wife type of rules.
Mm-hmm.
But in a normal circumstance, neither she or Ariana would have to be around Tom or Tom.
Yeah.
So, but another amusing part, Sheena breaks her zipper and she yells at Brock to get her coat, and he grabs his coat. He's like, here you go, here. She's like, that's not mine. And he's like, whose is it? She goes, they're like, whose is it? But eventually he tracks hers down. But I hope he put that coat right back where he found it, because
I'm sure.
Otherwise, whoever it belongs to is going to have a long night tracking it down.
I'm sure they got it. I don't know. Brock pisses me off.
I know, but can I tell you one of my new favorite things?
Gives an ego BJ to Sandoval.
Tell me about it. But I have a new favorite thing. Brock dancing by himself on the dance floor in that suit. Did you not laugh to yourself at least? Because I
felt
chuckled
sorry.
outside.
I felt sorry for the man.
I chuckled out loud. You did not feel sorry for him. He was having a great time. How can you feel sorry for people who are having a good time?
That's right. I'm glad he was having a good time. Way to go, Brock.
But yeah, and then we get to your the point you were making, because Tom thanks Brock for sticking up for him. And is it just me, or is Brock drunk? Because he starts vomiting word salad about what? I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I just said an ego BJ, because I don't think I really understood a word he was saying other than, you've really come through, man. You've really been there for us, and what I think you need to do is just, basically, I think what he was trying to tell Sandoval was you need to leave Ariana the fuck alone, and maybe someday she'll talk to you again.
Yeah, I think I might have got something like that out of it, but it was just, like I said, word salad.
No,
what you need to do to get back in the group. He was giving Sandoval group advice like he was the one who has been here for 12 years.
Yeah.
Sandoval knows plenty about this group, Brock. Take a seat.
But see, that's the thing though, because it really what it is it's an extension of Ariana, and at least I think for Sandoval, Ariana and Sandoval's it's like the house all over again, right? It's the house, it's the group.
Friend group.
You know, like what
The
Sandoval,
show.
yeah,
The
yeah,
scenes.
yeah. What Sandoval doesn't understand is that um, there's now two friend groups, one with Ariana and one with him.
Oh no, there are three. There's one with Ariana, one with Tom, and one with everyone.
Yeah, everybody and everyone.
Everybody and everyone. But, and then again, Sheena talks about how it's all affecting her. And then Tom,
Poor Sheena.
Dan.
It's like, Sheena, you get 2 Christmases now. Would you just shut the fuck up and deal with your divorced parents?
Oh, funny. Okay, so we go to Dan and Ariana are sitting there, and then Schwartz was, and they're talking about Applebee's, and my mind wanders to their ribs because their riblet platter. I haven't been there for years, but that was good. They got a good honey barbecue sauce. Trust me on that. Anyway, Sandoval introduces himself to Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it went well. Allie was nervous.
Well, it was such a
Forced,
pushy introduction, and like Sandoval just can't believe like Dan just didn't want to like maybe get up and maybe go walk to a corner and have a conversation.
But
something.
Did you notice when he walked up to Schwartz, like he raised the volume on his voice a few decibels? I think it was to see if Ariana and Dan would look up, because he was looking at Dan the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, signaling, I'm here.
Yeah, because the way he went, because I think he was trying to avoid the awkward way he approached Dan and tapped his shoulder and shook his hand and was like, "Hey, I heard a lot about. Nice to meet you."
It's like, read a room, dude. You don't have to.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm Allie in this situation, like completely nervous. But it went well. It went well.
Mm-hmm.
And
it went.
Which one said that?
Dan
was it Dan?
That.
Yeah.
So no, because Allie, and this is where Allie pissed me off too, because it was like, how do you think that went? And Dan's like, well, it went. I was so nervous. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it had to happen.
And yeah, that's where I was thinking.
And then that was just kind of why? Why did it have to happen?
Because in real life, these guys it wouldn't be a thing. Even if they were both at Kyle Chan's event, it wouldn't be a thing where they needed to interact. You know, this was for the audience. And Ariana was not giving it to the producer. We'll get to that, but you heard how heated I get later on. Yeah. And you looked at me a little confused, and that's before I realized you hadn't watched the extended version ending yet. Because you're like, whoa, you're fired up in a way that I'm not.
Yeah.
And you were really confused about it, and I don't know, maybe you still are, but...
Oh, no, not, I think...
Anyway. So, what did... Oh, yeah,
that's when...
Yeah, and you got mad at Allie for...
Oh, yeah, and that's when Ariana first, she's like, I'm not here for Tom's redemption arc. I'm not talking to him. You can stay away from me.
Yeah, it's like all season, she has watched each one of them, like dominoes, fall for it. She was not going to be that final nail in the coffin that says, Sandoval has changed his ways.
He's
He's
grown.
no longer a
He's-
piece of shit cheater.
He's worked on himself and shown some growth.
We should all trust. And that was another note I took later on, was what does production and the friend group expect out of Ariana? To go back to being Tom's ride or die? The chick that will stand up for him when he says stupid stuff? Like, what did they expect?
Yeah, I don't know.
Last season, Lala threw a fucking fit because Schwartz played pickleball with her ex. They didn't talk for an entire year. So give me a break. This is so fresh. Anyway, let's get back into it. Now,
Drunk guy.
well, was this a producer plant?
No, it was you said it was a whiskey tasting, so I think it's about right on par.
Well, yeah, but like,
This dude was just fucking hammered.
oh my god,
Whiskey drunk.
It was so funny when he goes into their, little bottle service VIP place, and I can't remember who asked Brock to take him out.
Well, fuck yeah, I'm gonna ask the rugby player.
No, but all Brock does, it's so funny. He does it so effortlessly because he is a big guy, so he doesn't have to say much. He's like, "Can I have this? I need this seat, brother." And so the drunk guy gets up, leaves the VIP lounge, but then starts making his way back, gets in a fight with security, and glass shatters almost like it's a prop glass. That's why I'm like, is this guy a producer plant for some drama? But I think it was only in the extended version.
Yeah, it wasn't on the original.
It didn't.
But I think you could be right, because it's funny because I was talking with
because there weren't more people taking cover or trying to stop it.
Did you ever watch Billy Madison on cable?
Of course. TBS.
The kickball scene. They on TBS, they always include, because they always had to fill that 2-hour time slot, right? And they just didn't have enough time, so they included a deleted scene. It was the kickball scene, worst scene in the history of cinema, right? It was just
that
awful.
Was an add-on.
Yeah,
you can't tell me they didn't have something better than that.
That wasn't in the original, like DVD.
Oh, because like the TV, or I mean, I say TBS because that's where I watched a lot of it. But yeah, the TV version is probably the version I know better than any of them, because it used to play on repeat.
It's that kickball scene that they stick in there, and it is just.
I bet with that movie they probably had so much gold to mine.
But yeah,
it might have been too dirty for TV.
Yeah, it did feel very much like a kickball scene. It was kind of like
a throwaway.
Yeah, it didn't really work as well as we wanted it to, but
Well, and the other reason I thought that it was a plant was because Ariana wasn't giving him the redemption arc that the producers wanted him to have. Because you got to know that producer Jeremiah, the one with the glasses, he's good friends with a lot of the cast members, Tom Sandoval being one of them. So, anyway, since Ariana wasn't giving that to him, they give this drunk guy, because Tom is kind of the one in, Tom Sandoval is the one in the end that kind of gets it broken up.
Play hero.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get it broken up.
He grabs the chair out of the drunk dude's hand so that he can be taken away. Yeah. He helps diffuse the situation anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might have been a drunk guy, but it seemed really convenient that the cameras had all the perfect angles for it. I don't know. But it was fun. And finally, we get to Sheena, who's performing Apples. And okay, it's catchy. I wouldn't seek it out and listen to it again unless it's on Vanderpump Rules, but it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And then the 27's version of Good as Gold comes on, and here we got Brock, and it's like my favorite. If you could take my favorite thing and multiply it by at least 10, it's Brock dancing in that suit with a guitar player on his shoulders. It's so fun. And as lover or hater, some days I'm both, she is entertaining, Sheena. Because she's having a great time. I mean, she has to know she looks a little ridiculous, but like in a campy way. In a way that where she's kind of trying to look. I don't think she's trying to look serious. I hope not. I hope she's not taking herself seriously.
Well, I don't know, like that whole thing at the end with the when they're meeting up with the band afterwards.
Oh, and she's like, "Am I part of the band?"
Yeah, falling back in love with performing, and then Tom really stepped up, blah blah blah.
Again.
And then apparently, yeah, she's in the band, which I don't buy for a second.
Oh no.
Am I going on tour? Yeah. I'm like, are we supposed to be fucking stupid?
No. It's just she's a guy's girl. Don't you know? That's like her thing.
Everybody's so. But they're so. It's just so fake.
But I mean, this band is getting an opportunity of a lifetime.
Oh yeah.
They're getting. I mean, I don't know how many people are watching Vanderpump Rules, but I myself Googled who are the 27's.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some decent music, I guess. I mean, anyway, we go and Sheena and Ariana hug, and I want to say this. I hate so bad. I wanted to say it earlier, but I hate Ariana's dress. I hate it. It looks like 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 a movie trope where you have the dowdy cousin or sister who all she has is this extra long turtleneck black dress, long sleeve, covering anything, and she goes to stay with her slutty cousin or stepsister, and they go out for the night, and the stepsister's like, "Oh no, girl, I gotcha." And she goes and gets the scissors and cuts the bottom, and then takes and cuts a big slice out of the middle, and then puts a buckle right there, because it's just cut edgy to look edgy. It doesn't look good. It doesn't, I don't know, sorry. It just threw me off, and I had to talk about it. So now let's get to the but basically Ariana and Sheena have a conversation, and Sheena feels compelled to tell her again what a good friend Sandoval is to her, and how he's on this path of growth.
Mm-hmm.
And Ariana finally says to Sheena, "Okay, that's great, but while he's on this path of growth, don't talk to me about it." Mm-hmm. Basically. And then Sheena starts crying, and she's like, "Well, I don't want to lose you." And Ariana gives her what she's been needing, what I said at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because time has been healing Ariana's wounds. That's what people have needed to do, is give her time. And she gave Sheena what she needed. She hugs her and says, "We're family. You're never going to lose me." And then, like 20 minutes later, Sheena's shit talking Ariana. Sorry, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I thought Ariana was very sweet. And then Tom walks up. But before that, do you have anything?
No,
Because I feel like I've just been talking too much.
Oh no, I mean this is your series finale.
No, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, it was just difficult to watch. It's difficult to watch every time Sheena breaks into this same repetitive monologue about Tom and how it's just tearing her up, and then but then it just totally feels like, you know,
it's manipulative.
Yeah, a total setup when Tom just comes walking up, right?
No, that's where I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's production.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they thought that they were going to be able to close this season out with a heart-to-heart between Ariana and Tom Sandoval. Because when Tom and Kristen broke up, Kristen chased Tom around, even though she was with James, and like they had a ton of heart-to-hearts, like, but Ariana won't talk to, and production did that. Production and Tom Sandoval. Sandoval was probably begging for an in.
Oh yeah, well Ariana went right to production and was like, "Fuck you," and
yeah,
this. No,
well,
I'm out.
And so Tom tries to go up and apologize. And then she's pissed at production for this ambush. And I do not blame her one bit. And I'm glad you caught that. But, and everybody, okay, so I don't know why people are mad at her. Because you were kind of in the same camp as everyone else, because you said that you agreed with Lala and Tom until I had a little talk with you.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe you before watching the extended version too. But I just never understood what people were mad at, because she has filmed with Tom. She has fought with Tom. She has gone to every cast meetup that she was supposed to. She has done everything her job has required of her. She has physically been places. And when she's not physically places, she's on the lips of everybody else in their scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So without Ariana, there would be no season 11. Nobody would have had a storyline. So I just wish they would all sit down and shut up. Ariana has exposed plenty about her real life throughout the years. And I could make a list, and maybe I will for the reunion, because they always come prepared. But no, and then for production to do that, that pissed me off, because it pissed me off because for the most part, Vanderpump Rules is as real as you're going to get out of reality television. These people do put out their what's going on in their lives. But for production to take Tom Sandoval's side in that way is unforgivable.
Well, I mean, we could talk about this. Like I said, like I'm about ready to start, breaking out into a, you know, college level critique of Vanderpump Rules, right?
Yeah.
And I do think that, like I said,
I
it's
can't
not,
wait to read it.
yeah. But like I said, like I don't feel like it's not really for me. You know what I mean? Like I feel like production and people like Tom Sandoval are able to manipulate and exploit people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone like Joe, who's gonna have to go through that and kind of get immortalized as, you know, this person that got shit on, you know.
But I also think she's the woman who brought Tom Schwartz down,
Oh yeah, but I
or
mean,
who shone a light on the rest of us, because there were plenty of people
oh
who
yeah,
could see through
okay,
Tom's
well, I mean, we can make a
Schwartz.
martyr of her if we want, right? But what I'm saying is that she should have had to go through that in the first freaking place,
Right.
you know. And so that's my whole thing. Like I said, I'm not. I feel,
Production is
yeah,
just a bunch of
yeah,
puppeteers.
but I feel like I'm I'm looking into aspects of people's lives that I don't feel like I have any. I don't know. Like I just don't feel like I should. Like I have any right to, or have any. Like it's just too much. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Like I said before, I got enough emotional stuff in my life to have to like put other people's shit on my plate. But it's like also, and I like to look at fictional characters and see and deal with that emotional shit. But to
Mm-hmm.
see real people getting exploited for it, like I'm not exactly sure what I'm trying to say. I think I said it a lot better earlier, but I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
tired.
Well, we're at our final scene.
Yeah.
And so Sheena tells Tom that Ariana thinks he's just being performative, and that sets off a powder keg. And Tom, he's going around huffing and puffing, talking. She's saying, I'm performative. She's performative. And timeout. But what is Ariana talking about in her confessional about being the final boss? Because I don't know anything about video games.
Okay, so like in a video game, you're gonna have okay. You've played Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
Who's the final boss?
the king guy.
Bowser.
Bowser, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's the final boss. Him getting through and rescuing himself and having a redemption story, right?
Okay.
And he can't even get to that part. He fell into the hole with the flaming frickin' circle of fireballs and ran out of lives.
Yeah.
Couldn't even get to it.
Okay. So anyway, that's what she says. I think she's talking to production at this point.
Yeah.
She's like, "Fuck you guys for putting me in that position. I am not." I
Mm.
kind of got that, but I just didn't know if it was a specific, if it was like a Grand Theft Auto reference, or I didn't know a
Mm.
Super Mario. I didn't know we called them bosses. But now I do.
Mm.
I've played Super Mario Brothers since I was Tony's age. But anyway, we get back to Tom's tirade. If you don't want to film with your ex, don't be on the show. I'd like to remind him she has filmed with him or about him. Don't sit back on your lazy ass and collect a check for doing fucking nothing.
Unless you're
And
gonna.
I would like to argue that she did at least as much as everyone else and was everyone else's storyline.
Mm.
And then he goes up and he is hot. He goes up to the group. And I think the group was getting gassed up by production before Tom, because they're already pissed off for Ariana leaving like an adult.
Especially Lala.
Yeah.
Somebody was definitely in Lala's ear, I
Oh,
think.
definitely. That's why I was thinking, was somebody gassing her because she wasn't activated
Mm-mm.
until, and then he gets back up there and he says, she doesn't fuck with you guys. She doesn't come to your events. I do. And they're literally at an event for both Kyle and Sheena. And Ariana was there. She had to get on a plane to get there.
Well, that's the thing. There's probably a whole story there that
She
should be done.
shows up,
Yeah.
and there's years of her showing up with Tom. Is there anything you'd like to say right now before I keep going?
No, I just thought that it was kind of wrapped up pretty good. That Tom does not get it.
No, but like,
Um,
but Sheena starts crying,
she is an idiot.
and she goes, I know. And I tell her this, and I'm like, hold me back. Ariana just showed Sheena the kindness that had to hurt.
Yeah.
That, it was basically, okay, fine, be friends with Sandoval. And then
she
2 minutes later,
she won't let me be friends with you.
yeah, it's like, do you realize you were filmed, you dumb bitch?
Yeah.
I am
like she didn't try to convince you that he was a bad person. She's done doing that. What she said was go be friends with Sandoval.
yeah.
So she was like, so Sheena can't even like it should have been resolved, and she just wants to be like,
Yeah.
no, it's not. This is my thing. This is.
Well, yeah, because now Tom's mad, and now Lala thinks everybody needs to hear her opinion, and she's just going on and on about breaking the fourth wall, which is something I noticed a lot of this episode, especially. And she says she thinks she is Beyonce, and I don't know where she gets that. I think that's bullshit. She can't film with the man she lives under the same roof with. And this is what really confuses me. The whole Ariana living with Tom gets under Lala's skin in a weird way. Like, that's the thing, that's the hill she will die on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you noticed? That's when she starts yelling. That's when Lala's voice gets raised, is when she starts talking about
Why
them
are you
living
still
together.
living with them?
Yeah, I think it's weird that she's still living with him, but I don't think it's anything to get pissed off about.
I don't think that, and up until that point, I guess I don't think that Lala had really taken a side. You know what I mean? Like she was more or less like she seemed like when she talked to Sandoval, they weren't like the bestest buddies or anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it
she
doesn't
was.
seem like any. Like, but she wasn't like I
She
hate
was-
you. She was just like I'll talk to you, sure. And
Yeah.
she didn't talk to Ariana about it, and she didn't apologize about it for it, right?
Right.
But then it was kind of weird. All of a sudden, why does she feel like she's being told she can't fuck with Sandoval because she has been?
I know. There is no reason for them to be talking about Ariana doesn't talk shit about them.
Yeah, well,
they are awful friends, and Sheena, it's hilarious because she keeps grabbing Lala. I got your back on this. I'm backing you up on this. And Lala couldn't care less. She doesn't need you to co-sign. She's an adult, Sheena. Fuck off. Fuck off. I'm gonna back you up. But anyway, my thought is that Lala is jealous of Ariana. That she got all the love and fan support, brand deals and
Mm,
etc. off of Scandival. But when she got cheated on and the whole Randall scandal was going on, she got nothing like that. But I mean, everybody told you, Lala. But I mean, I'm not trying to minimize her pain, but I think why else would she be so mad at Ariana unless she
yeah.
was jealous?
Well, they're all jealous of her, right? Like because that was the name of the game,
Right.
and she won the game. The name of the game was to get more fame.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody starts reality TV with the intention of like this is going to be my life. I like to think that they think they're going to be able to parlay this into something else. She's done that.
Yeah.
She's they'll probably Ariana can go. She'll be on the View one day. You know what I mean? Like, but
But
Sheena will always be remembered as that girl that danced on the freaking bar on Vanderpump Rules.
yeah. But then they show like each character has their own individual vignettes of them through flashbacks through the years and a little bit of narration. And it felt like the end, like of the
Mm-hmm.
series, not the like closing of the book. And it was kind of sad, but I don't know. There might be another season. I don't know what they'll put in it. But I did like in Katie's confessional where she said, if your peace is more important to you, stand your ground. And then, and at the end, and this is where I think it's going to be interesting at the reunion where they all watch the last, like, what they say, 10 minutes of the show
Mm-hmm.
together. Because at the very, very end, they don't show what they're doing, so we don't know. So maybe we just hear their voices.
So we don't know what the plot twist actually was.
Well, Sandoval goes, no, we know. Schwartz goes, that was a fucking plot twist. And Sandoval says, I love it. It worked out. It worked out for me. And I'm just wondering how, because the plot twist was
Yeah.
he got the whole cast to turn on Ariana just by her leaving like an adult. And they're saying she's never been honest. She doesn't show up and do her job. I just want to know from your point of view, somebody who's completely new to the show, doesn't know anybody else's truth, like the layered past truths or who's shown what. Do you feel like Ariana did less than anyone else?
No, I mean
As far as showing the truth of her life?
no.
You don't, me neither.
I also think that what she did show was that she did not want to. She absolutely did not want to be there.
Yeah, I think
And
at
that.
the time she came back,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was, riding her coattails and being her yes men.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if she could have predicted being turned into the villain.
Mm-hmm.
So for doing what?
Growing beyond the show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what.
Gray rocking, not
Yeah.
letting toxic people affect. Like you would see her.
So,
She
like I
wouldn't.
said, and it wasn't just Sandoval and everybody else. It was production too, right? Like production, we're finally like, yeah, she's done. She's
No. After that, if I were Ariana, I would be done. I would go to the reunion so I could get my
Mm.
check, because you don't get paid if you don't go to the reunion. And then I'd be like, fuck you guys.
You know what Ariana's problem is? She's totally Jennifer Aniston in Office Space. Right? Like she's sitting there and the boss is coming up to her and saying, "Well, I see you only have 7 pieces of flair on." And she's like, "Well, in the handbook
Oh,
says
yeah.
my contract it says I only need to wear 7 pieces of flair."
Yep.
Well, fucking Tom Sandoval over there is wearing 43 pieces of flair. Well, if you wanted the fucking minimum to be 43 pieces of flair, then you should have wrote down 43 pieces of fucking flair. Like that's totally Ariana. That's why everybody's pissed off at her.
Yeah, they're mad at her for doing the normal thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, she did get on her high horse. It wasn't even a high horse, it was just her being pissed off at Sandoval and saying, I'm not going to be friends with anybody who's friend, because basically she didn't want to give him access to her life. And if she was friends with somebody that was his friend, they would be able to report back to him things that she had said or how she's doing. And she didn't want that. And I think that's healthy in the beginning. As somebody who has gone through a major breakup, I've done what she's done. And for one of the reasons was I didn't know if I would be able to resist, because I was with somebody for a certain period of time, married to them, lived with them, shared a whole life with them. I didn't know if seeing him would bring everything back, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I changed my mind. I don't want to be alone anymore. I take you back." So we had an Anne. I completely forgot. Because whenever he needed to pick something up, he would pick it up from that mutual friend. And she even brought court documents to him because he needed them from my bank account that he drained. Neither here nor there. But no, I mean, and I knew that our mutual friends were hanging out with him once in a while, but I didn't know the exact days. I didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't call you up afterwards and be like, "So yeah, your ex was just here, and you know, I think they're, I know they fucked you over, but you know what? I think that they're really coming along in their life."
No, I heard about it like this. Yeah, your ex was in town. He stopped by. We had a few beers and played horseshoes. Great. Hope he's doing well. Glad he's out of town. Glad you had the decency not to invite everyone. And by everyone, I mean myself. Okay, so it is the season finale. Not completely over because we have reunions, but how did you feel about, I know you said that you've decided it's not for you. But as far as entertainment level, did you feel entertained throughout the season?
Oh yeah, it was entertaining. My key takeaways. I think that Sandoval's gonna say or do. I mean, I don't know if he could say or do anything worse than he's already done, but I expect that he's gonna end his career during the reunions by just being a complete prick.
I just don't think anything really sticks to him.
This world of would you rather run into a man or a bear in the woods? Tom Sandoval cannot afford to be Tom Sandoval right now, and he is. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I was more entertained than I expected. Especially after the first 5 or 6 episodes where nothing was really happening.
Yeah, it did pick up.
Yeah. But to be continued on
Yeah.
the reunion. Again, smash that like and subscribe button. Please tell a friend.
Like and subscribe.
We love you.